Alrighty, Frieren episode 4. I really enjoyed the previous episode, getting a nice showcase into some of the magic in this show. I really like what we're doing with Frieren's character. I really feel like I'm starting to understand the direction that we're taking. And we got to see a lot of this from Fern's perspective last episode as well, which I find really interesting in hindsight, going back and looking at the episode again. And someone commented saying that all of the times telling us how many years have passed are all X amount of time after Himmel's death. So that just really shows you just how much Himmel is driving a lot of this. As we go on this journey of Frieren kind of trying to retrace all the steps of the journey she went on with Himmel and the others. And something I picked up on, which seems to be holding true, is that Frieren remembers a lot more than she might have thought she did initially at Himmel's funeral. And it's all slowly coming back to her. Like maybe in the moment, she wasn't considering a lot of these things to be that important because of her perception of time. But as we're getting into a lot of these instances, like in episode 2 with the flowers and dealing with Qual, who was someone they all dealt with as a group all those years ago, she's starting to remember things, you know, and I think that's really cool. I'm really excited to see more things like that pop up throughout this season. And I really like how Frieren is continuing to teach Fern to be a proper mage. She really wanted Fern to read the book because it would have had a lot of those teachings that Frieren was talking about to Qual during the episode, and Fern hadn't quite read the book yet. That's something I missed during the episode, so I'm going to look out for more things like that. The episodes themselves are structured really well, just as single episodes. So I'm really going to try and pay more attention from here on out, but I'm really enjoying this show. I'm going to go into episode 4 here. So like and subscribe, check out the Patreon for early access if you're interested. And with all that being said, enjoy the video. 28 years after Himmel's death, Grant's channel. Are we going to help this place? Name drop? Okay. Now is she gonna learn about the place in the north? Well, Fern's onto it, it's fake. Oh. She's already aware. Wasn't about the payment. Oh, Fern. Bro.
Frieren様、朝でございます。起きてください。
She's not a morning person, it seems.
海岸の清掃に行きますよ。
She is not here right now. How handy is magic? This track is so interesting too. Every morning, Fern, you're too patient. I almost said something like that, but I decided not to. Is Frieren just depressed? I mean, there's actually a possibility. Damn! Hey, that's one way to do it. Look at her. I think she just doesn't like the cold, man. Oh, sleep in. Ah. And this is probably the place with the best view, you know? She's actually a mess. Well, this is much better. Hey, nah. Oh, that's epic, man. Look at it. They cleaned up that beach just like Deku. Like it's such a big deal. She'd rather stay up all night than get up early. She's a demon. Yeah, there's a thing there. I think she wants to maybe experience more things that she wasn't interested in to try and gain new perspectives, maybe? I don't know. And of course it's Himmel.
君にも楽しんで欲しかったんだよ。
ただの日の出でしょ。楽しめるとは思えないけど。
ああ。
いいや、楽しめるね。 君はそういうやつだからだ。
It's always Himmel.
フリーレン様、起きてください。新年祭に遅れますよ。誰がお母さんですか。
Oh, she made
なん
it.
で私がこんなこと。ありがとう、フェルン。
Here we go. That is bright. Oh, look at the lighting,
確か
man.
に綺麗だけど早起きしてまで見るものじ
She
ゃないな。
doesn't get it.
ヒンメルは私のこと分かってないな。フェルン、帰って二度寝。
フリーレン様、とても綺麗ですね。
And there it is.
そうかな。ただの日の出だよ。
でもフリーレン様、少し楽しそうです。
それはフェルンが笑っていたから。
Yes. Ah ha ha. You would have got to see your homies happy, Frieren.
私一人じゃこの日の出は見れなかったな。
当たり前です。フリーレン様は一人じゃ起きられませんからね。
Bro, I think Himmel knew Frieren so well. Episode 4, the land where souls rest. That's it. No coincidence we're talking about Flamme this episode.
数千年前までは無に帰るって考えが主流だったからね。
Uh-huh.
私も天国には懐疑的だけど、今の人類の魔法技術じゃ死後の魂の観測ができない。
Current magics.
私も実在するかどうかはどっちでもいいです。
ソウルがそれ言っていいのか。生臭坊主。
たとえ
He
実在し
said
なか
what
ったとして
Frieren always says.
あるべきものだと思います。
It's the belief. Yeah, I understand that.
その方が都合がいいからです。
And sometimes it's as simple as that for some people, and I can
贅
appreciate
沢
that.
三昧していると思った方が
Just the
いいじゃ
belief, the
ないですか。
idea of it, it's nice. And that's all it has to be.
祈るか。
おう
Oh, hello? Present? 28 years. In the Brett region. Yeah, here we go.
アイ
Homies!
ゼン、遊びに来たよ。
I'm here to hang out.
30年ぶりとは思えん態度だな。
たった30年でしょ。
Still in that mindset.
まさかお前が弟子を取るとはの。
アイゼン、何か手伝ってほしいこととかってある？フォル盆地か。
Vol
懐
Basin.
かしいね。
来たことあるのか。
昔ね。
昔って言ったぞ。どれだけ前。
At least 2,000 years.
原始時代でしょうか。
さすがにそこまで長生きじゃないよ。
How long have you lived though?
それで探し物って？
大魔法使いフランメの手記だ。
It's no coincidence.
本物の手記はフォルボン地のどこかにある。
I'm excited about this.
まずは大きな木を探そうか。
大きな木か。時間なんていくらでもあるのか。
Look at
まあ
Fan.
ね。でもフェルンが嫌がるから
Yeah,
早めに
exactly.
終わらせようか。
なるべく効率的に探しましょう。
お前は人の時間を気にするようなやつじゃなかった。
Good.
だってフェルン怒ると怖いんだよ。
Damn! Ferno like grapes? Mmm. Oh, the soundtrack kills me, man. What are these two doing?
なんでフランメの手記なんか探すことにしたの？
お前とヒンメルがかわいそうだと思ったんだ。お前はヒンメルを知っておけばと口にした。あの言葉はヒンメルに直接伝えてやるべきものだ。
I understand.
大魔法使いフランメの式には死者と対話したという記録が残っているとされ。
Oh, this guy's the realist.
それに今さら会いたいとは思っていない。
Yes, you do. Well, I want you to.
お前はきっと後悔しているだろうから
They never stop
手
thinking
助け
about
した
her.
かったんだ。
Yeah, that's a big tree. That's the one. That'll do it.
1000年も前のことなのに、結局私は先生の手のひらの上か。頼りない留守番だね。
1,000 years, my master. Oh, hello?
1000年だろうがこの場所を守り続ける。
Earrings.
その頃には先生死んでるでしょ。
I mean, this is Flamme, right? For sure.
だがお前は違う。お前はいつか大きな過ちを犯し、人を知りたいと考えるよ。
知ってほしいの先生。かまってちゃん。
ちげえよ。
Look at little Frieren.
その時はここに帰ってこいって言ってんだ。
Ooh, okay.
この大魔法使いフランメ様が。
Hold on now. Sick.
フリーレンはフランメの一番でした。
It be like that.
本当に原始時代から生きているんじゃ。
死者との対話についての記述はあるか？
ご丁寧にそのページが開かれている。
She knew.
1000年も前から私がここに来ることが分かっていたのか。
Uh-huh.
相変わらず嫌味な
I'll
やつだ。
stop it.
大陸の遥か北
北の果て。この世界の人
Damn,
々
look at
が
her.
天国と呼ぶ場所。
And there it is. Oriel.
たどり着いた。
Damn,
そこ
look
は
at
多
it.
くの魂が集まる場所で、
Olympus vibes.
真実なのでしょうか。
さあね、いい加減な人だったから。
天国はある。その方が都合がいいだろ。
Good callback, homie.
そうだね。たまには信じてみるか。
There you go.
大陸北部エンデ。
Ende.
今は魔王城がある場所だ。
Oh shit, of course it is.
フリーレン、オレオールを探してヒンメルと話すんだ。
You must.
俺を手伝ってくれるんだろ？
Haha.
悪知恵をつけたね、アイゼン。
She got tricked by Ison and Haita. Yep.
もう魔王城のあたりってめちゃく
Oh,
ちゃ寒いんだよ
stop
ね。
it.
眠ってしまいました。
寒い。
No, she's just thinking about it.
なあ、フェロン。そいつはいい師匠か？
よくわかりません。ただ
Well,
ひたすらに魔法を求めて旅をして、もしかしたら私にはあまり興味がないのかもしれません。
she just hasn't shown it yet. Come
フ
on.
リーレン様が私を弟子にしたのはハイター様との約束に過ぎませんから。
Hmm.
とても不思議な人なんです。旅を始めてからは誕生日にプレゼントをくれるようになったんです。
Yeah? That's all you need.
何を考えているのでしょうね。とても不思議です。
You can see Fern clearly cares about Frieren though, which is nice, and you could assume as much, but it's nice to see it written on her face.
旅を続けるよ。
一人でか？
気楽でいいでしょ。
弟子を取ったりはしないのか？旅は話し相手がいた方がいい。
時間の無駄だからね。
Hmm.
いろいろ教えてもすぐ死んじゃうでしょ。
フリーレン、人との関係はそういうものじゃない。
そういうものだよ。みんなとの冒険だって私の人生の100
One
分の1にもなってない。
100th.
フェルン、そいつはいい師匠だ。
そうですね。
Nice. Because she is a master. She wasn't gonna be.
すまんな。長い旅路になる。
I do enjoy the jumping back and forth between the past and present.
そうだね。たった10年の冒険だよ。
Oh, look, Fern puts it perfectly. She is such a strange person, Frieren is. But we're getting there. We're getting there with it. And look, again, you start to see a little bit more of what we're doing with Frieren. It's gonna take time. I've been saying it, but it's about the journey. Alrighty, so we're up to 28 years post Himmel's death. The first thing we do this episode is clean up this shore. Now, the Flamme name drop was very deliberate in this episode, as was the title, The Land Where Souls Rest. It's the very first thing we see of the show. The map and this whole Flamme situation, Oriel speaking to people you once traveled with. That's the end game, maybe. It could be. That's what I feel like. But Frieren's done this, she says, because she's trying to help someone. Which maybe she is, you know, maybe she's trying to be like that, but she's also doing it for herself. Because as we find out, she was here with Himmel and the homies, and she didn't get up to go and see the sunrise because she didn't feel like it was going to be anything special. It's just the sunrise. But you can already see the situation unfolding. Like, Himmel says you would have enjoyed it because that's the person you are. And it wouldn't have been for the sunrise. It would have been because the homies were enjoying it. And this is something we see at the end of Himmel's life as well. When Frieren comes back, to take them all to the meteor shower, you know? And it was because she had someone with her, you know, in Fern. That was a bit of a theme this episode from Ison. Once again, back in the flashback, I believe that was around at episode 1 times. Ison said it's more fun to have someone to travel with you. There was lots of talks about Frieren, you know, not wanting to take on an apprentice, and is she a good master or not? And Ison saying she is. And I like to interpret that as she's a good master because she chose to be one. Like she didn't really choose, but she's continuing to be one. So just that very fact is enough for me. And also she does take good care of Fern, you know, in her own way. Fern probably takes more care of Frieren than Frieren does of Fern. But you can see in this moment of the sunrise, Fern, as a human, is able to appreciate this moment and the beauty of it, and that's something that Frieren lacks. The ability to sometimes appreciate these small moments, even though there are very deliberately shots placed in here. Like for example, this episode there was a few when it was the 3 of them, Frieren, Fern, and Ison, of Frieren like enjoying herself and having a good time. But this was something specifically she didn't think she'd enjoy. She has to get up early, it's just the sunrise. But in all those moments, Frieren is not alone. That might be the thing here. So we've seen this is what Frieren has been missing. Time is just a massive existence for her, if you will. Even her conversations with Flamme, it almost seemed like Frieren was always like this. Like even when she's looking at the sunrise, Frieren was like, I'm gonna go home, this isn't that special, until she looks at Fern. So I really like that. So Frieren is not going to know for sure about any of this stuff unless she actually puts herself in these moments. And that's what she's decided to do. That's why she's come here, why she's cleaned up the shore, to have this exact moment with Fern. And I don't think she knew that's what she was looking for until she was in that moment with Fern and she looked over at Fern. So I imagine plenty more of these situations are going to come up as we go on, and Frieren is slowly going to find what she's looking for in these moments. Now, we move on to, you know, the idea of heaven, the lands where souls rest, Oriel, all of this stuff. Now, initially we're talking about the idea of heaven. Now, I like what Haita says about even if it doesn't exist, it's much nicer and convenient to think that these people have a nice place to go, you know, in the afterlife. I think the Dwarvish tradition here is that bodies return to nothing after they die. But it seems like Ison kind of came around to this idea a little bit. And I like that Himmel and Frieren choose to pray as well. But that moves us into meeting back up with Ison, and he's been exchanging letters with Haita, and I love that in his own way, Ison has kind of tricked Frieren into going and trying to converse with Himmel. That gives endgame stuff, at least for this season for me, and it's something I'm really excited about. Frieren's come here, I guess, for the same reason she went to Haita, right? To kind of do a little bit more for them, try and have a little bit more memories of them, and this is what Ison has said. Let's go find Flamme's notes. I think Frieren always knew they were here, right? But it's a really epic sequence when we find the notes, because we flash back 1,000 years. So, okay, she said 10 years is not even 1/100th, which is 10, no, it's 1,000. 10 times 100? That's 1,000. That's 1,000. Maybe we're getting towards 2,000 years, a lifetime for an elf. I don't know. Either way, Flamme looks awesome. I'm trying to see her ears. I'm imagining she's an elf, just like Frieren. Well, I don't know. Well, I really don't know. But that would kind of make things make a little bit more sense if Flamme wasn't an elf and she just had a normal lifespan and she was just that good of a mage. She took Frieren on, and perhaps Flamme was just such a great judge of character. She knew, just based on how she knew Frieren, that she'll make a terrible mistake and we should gotten to know people better. Maybe she's seen the future. I wouldn't put it past this show. But Flamme had all this set up. The book was open to the page, ready and waiting. And now Frieren's here. 1,000 years later, just like Flamme said. And the way Frieren talks about Flamme is interesting. Like, she was an irresponsible person. What an unpleasant woman. She's just very interesting. Like, I'm really interested to learn a bit more about Flamme and Frieren's relationship with her. And then it's Ison. You must find Oriel and speak with him. You must. I think Ison maybe understands just how important it is, because currently Frieren didn't want to see him. I don't think she could bring herself to confront him, you know, and I can understand that at this point, and Frieren's still got a lot of growth to do, which is crazy considering how old she is. And Fern and Ison's conversation is really cool as well. Frieren's freaking out about, you know, going to this cold place. I don't think she deals well with the cold. We learned that this episode. Fern seems to have accepted Frieren for who she is, and Fern is very capable as an apprentice in taking care of Frieren as well, which is it's pretty funny. But Fern, you can just see it written all over her face, and I really like it. She's very fond of Frieren. She and Ison both agreed that she's a good master. She has a good heart. She's just a bit lost, I think, Frieren right now. And she's still talking about a mere 30 years that she hasn't seen Ison. It'll be another mere 10-year journey. So felt like last episode she was maybe talking from the perspective of humans when she was talking to Qual, you know, about the time and all of that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change for her. At the end of the day, it still is a mere 10 years, but it's what you can do in that 10 years. And, you know, this is what we're trying to learn because of Himmel. I really enjoy going back through these episodes because there's really a lot of meaning in here. And I think a lot of this you'd want to have in your head going forward. But a homie did say to me, the first 4 episodes are kind of like a prologue, right? And then we move into what we're going to do. Like we have a proper objective now, right? Get to end, whatever you want to call it, and then go beyond to the land where souls rest. And we're going to speak to Himmel. Now, right from the get-go, after the first 2 episodes, and you go back to the map and you see those opening phrases, you kind of get the feeling that's where we're going. And it's going to be everything that happens along the way. It's currently just Frieren and Fern. I'm sure more characters pop up, but it's going to be a ride, and I'm here for it. And I can't wait to see what else we experience. Like all of my questions have just about been answered. It's mostly just about, you know, where do we get with Frieren and what's going to happen when we get to the land where souls rest. Stuff I'm very excited about. But I think that's going to do it for this one. I'm pretty happy about that. Please leave some feedback about these discussions, by the way, because I feel like I'm rambling a lot, doing a lot of recapping, but it really helps me get my head around a lot of these things, and I come to a lot of unique thought process because I'm really going back. So let me know if this is engaging or not. But with all that being said, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.